WWE has a chance to do one of the most spectacular things they've ever done by running the Sphere in Las Vegas. One of the most interesting, captivating, and quite frankly, stupendous venues to ever grace this planet. The Sphere holds over 18,600 seats and is one of the most innovative and most up-to-date technologically venues there has ever been. UFC recently ran this to much acclaim, and I do believe that WWE has a chance to do the same with the Sphere in Las Vegas. And when you factor in the relationship that WWE now has to UFC through the TKO brand, it makes all the sense in the world for them to run this arena. And there's even talk of it being done as soon as WrestleMania week 2025, which would be an insane way to introduce this new venue to professional wrestling. WrestleMania is the biggest week on the calendar for WWE. There is no bigger event, there is no bigger week, there is no bigger vibe than that which is supplied by WrestleMania. That is when pop culture and professional wrestling clash into one of the most stupendous, as WWE likes to say, events there has ever been. And when you think about the fact that Las Vegas is going to host next year's WrestleMania at Allegiant Stadium, which is of course the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, it would make sense to have Raw or SmackDown at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And for those of you who may be wondering what exactly the Sphere is, it genuinely is one of the most unique atmospheres, with a screen that stretches out across nearly the entire arena, an experience that gives viewers the ability to see things from four-dimensional points of view, technological features that are absolutely astounding. And as we saw with the UFC, it can be adapted for a combat sports environment. It would be very easy for WWE to go in and adapt that current setup, or even replicate the setup they had for UFC. Instead of having the octagon there, put the WWE ring there and let the show go on. This has the potential to not only elevate the WWE brand, because they would not only be getting a boost from, first of all, having the event during WrestleMania week. We know that that is going to produce a lot of excitement. I don't think there's a more interesting arena than the Sphere in Las Vegas. This is something that has been replicated by others. We now know that Saudi Arabia is currently trying to construct their own version of the Sphere to try to attract people for tourism. We know that WWE, for a fact, is interested, as Triple H himself has even chimed in, showing enthusiasm for the idea of hosting a WWE event there after witnessing UFC's production. We have Hall of Famer Jim Ross, who said he believes that WWE is well positioned to be the first wrestling promotion to hold an event at this iconic arena. And I think that they are both right. When you look at the environment that WWE is currently in, they are trying to get as much interest and make WWE something bigger than what it was over the past 50 years. They want WWE to be the forefront of entertainment. They don't just want it to be professional wrestling, they want it to be an unstoppable brand. The old saying was that Vince McMahon wanted WWE to be like Disney, and the truth is TKO has the ability to do it. And the next step in this evolution is by running the Sphere. And it's not only because of what it would do and the interest and absolute buzz it would generate around WrestleMania week, but on top of that, the revenue that they could bring in from running the Sphere is insane. It could even be comparable in some ways to a night or two of WrestleMania. When you look at how much UFC was charging for tickets for their event at the Sphere, compare that to what WWE regularly charges for their tickets, even Bad Blood tickets. It was very difficult to get a seat for under a couple of $100 if you wanted to even get into the arena. That shows you the level of popularity that WWE has right now, the hot ticket that it is, and compounded by the fact that you'd be running the most innovative, technologically advanced, and one of the most expensive non-stadium arenas in the entire world, as it was estimated that it costs almost $3 billion to build the Sphere. There's a chance that WWE is going to have ticket prices that may even be more expensive than WrestleMania. So when you factor in the money, which works, the spectacle that works, and also just the evolution of the company, we have been waiting for WWE to do different things, to have wrestling events in front of people who may not necessarily be wrestling fans. And I think this is part of that evolution. Now that they have a partnership with UFC, which essentially has one of the biggest footholds of any company in Las Vegas, and you combine that with the fact that they are becoming less and less of a wrestling show as far as who is coming in. They are becoming like the cool thing in town. If there's a big fight, you will see celebrities who may not even be fans of these big events or boxing or UFC just show up and watch it, because it's not just about being there for the fight or being there for the wrestling. It is about being there for the vibe, being there for the spectacle. That is what they want WWE to be. They want WWE to be an attraction in itself. When there's a big UFC show in town, you know that even if you don't know anyone on the card, it is going to be a hot ticket, it is going to be a hot crowd, and it is going to be an experience. That is what WWE is selling to the more general public. That is what WWE is selling to a very affluent fan base that they are currently catering to. And that is precisely what they will be selling when they indeed run the Sphere. And whether it's WrestleMania week or at some point beyond, I do expect this to happen when you consider the fact that the Sphere has already worked with TKO on the UFC. I don't think it would be hard for them to make it work. I don't think it would be hard for them to get a foot in the door. And I don't think it would be hard for WWE to sell tickets just on the spectacle of running the Sphere itself. Whether or not it happens at WrestleMania, though, is to be determined. But I guarantee you this, it will happen. But I guess we'll see.